Hey everyone, welcome to our first set of lab videos for BA 322 this semester. In our first week's lab, we're going to download some files from Google Drive, then we're going to save them in an organized fashion on our computers. We're then going to follow up by combining those two files into a single data sheet, and we're going to save that so that we can have one file that we are working with for each week's lab. You're going to keep them all in one place so that you can find what you need. Then we're going to work through that lab, navigating Excel, learning the interface, and doing some basic functions, formatting, and some different types of references, relative versus absolute references. So we'll start with files. So all the files for this class can be found on this link to a Google Drive. It's called Class Files. If you click on that, it takes you to the Google Drive for our class this semester, and it has all the files that I'm sharing with you this semester. So we're going to jump into our textbook data files, because this is where all of the data files associated with the textbook that we're using for this class can be found. So right now, our introduction to Excel lab, our data is in Appendix A. And there are two files here. What I want to do is get them downloaded onto my computer and in a file that I can find. And in that file, I'm going to keep all of the data and all of my work for this class. So if you click on a file in Google Drive, it doesn't download it. It opens it. I can see what's in it. I can even, do some things, like I can add up this row of numbers. But this is not an Excel file saved to my computer. So you do not want to do that. You can't have that as it is. You've got to download this onto your computer as an Excel file. So we can do that here from File to Download. And I want to download it as a Microsoft Excel file because I want to be working in Excel, so I need to have it downloaded onto my computer. If you don't have this option, if you're in a Chromebook, you'll want to borrow a computer from the business office or the library, because you need to be able to download files onto your computer. You need to have Microsoft Excel, not the online version, not Google Sheets. It won't work. So we're going to download Microsoft Excel, or download this file as an Excel file. And then I get some choices, like where do I want to put it? Well, what I want on my desktop, I want a new folder. I want a folder that's called BA 322. So I'm going to click New Folder, and I'm going to call this BA 322. And because I teach this class every semester, I'm going to call it BA 222 Fall 25. If you're interested in where I got that line, that one right there, it's Shift and then the slash right above the return key. So one key above the return, if you hold down Shift, you'll get that straight line, Fall 25. So that's what I'm calling it. And I'm going to put all my files for this class in that folder. And I'll say Create. And now, on my desktop, I have this new file, BA 322 F for Fall 25, and I'm going to click Save. Great. So I don't need that anymore. I want to go back to my Google Drive, because I also need Nolan. I can go through that same process of opening it in Google, but I can also, another way to download it is through these three dots. If I click there, I can select Download, and I get a different interface. It happened to have some pretty good computer ESP, and it knew where I wanted to put it. It might not, but I'm going to save it there. So this part might look totally different on your computer. You might need to go figure out where these files are being put. You might need to find out where you want to store things. You might need to go manually create a file and put things in there. But you'll want to do that now before you end up with a computer filled with 500 of these little files, and you've typed into one of them and you can't find the one where all your work is. I'm just saying that because ask me how I know. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to close my Google Drive. I'm going to scoot my canvas out of the way. I'm going to find my BA 322 Fall 25 folder, and I'm going to open it. And I'm going to double click both of these files so that they're open on my computer. And then After I do that, we are going to come back for the next video to talk about combining them. All right, happy calculating, and I'll see you in a minute.